Crush actually single-handedly fucked up the game so badly. I just don't understand how a group of competitive Shiv players got together and made a first-person melee game for casuals.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense, does it? You need like a delicate touch for the balance. Like you have to know what you're doing, and he just doesn't. And he doesn't play the game on top of that, so he's just really out of touch with it. They have to try and make the game go comp, man, because that's how the game was built. That was the design of the game. They're not gonna make it like Battlefield. They just don't have, like, you know what makes Battlefield Battlefield? Shit ton of fucking content, shit ton of devs, and just pump out everything, and that's literally what they don't have. So how the fuck are you gonna do that with such a tiny studio? It doesn't make any sense. Like Crush, I tell him to fix his game, and he tells me to like go back on my antidepressants, shit like this. Like, do you know what I mean? The guy's a fucking cunt. Crush has single-handedly fucking destroyed the game. What made the game's combat a success initially in the alpha was all the feedback from all the fucking players. All the fucking players giving him feedback and shit. And then as soon as the game released, he was like, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't need to listen to anyone anymore. I know fucking everything. And I'm sick of trying to help their game. Like, I worked so hard. Like, I even learned how to fucking dev. I even learned Unreal Engine 4 dev just to balance the game. And then Crush takes every single change I made in comp mod. He does a shit job implementing them. And then he shit talks me afterwards, saying that he had these changes in his mind to begin with. And it's like, what do you mean? I made comp mod, you implemented the exact same changes 6 months later, even fucked up some of them, even brought over some experimental changes which were never supposed to be pushed into live. I was literally just testing like 525 MS release, MS wind up longsword. And then he has the gall to say that it was his own shit anyway, and it's just like, what the fuck is he doing, man? Do you know what I mean? And like, I'm sick of dealing with that. And literally all I've tried to do since the start is help the fucking game. That's literally all I've done from the start, is try and help the game. You know, Crush kicked me out of private feedback because he just couldn't handle the fucking critique. I used to work as a dev professionally. If I ever push something untested to live like a dumbass, I'd lose my fucking job. What's smarter? One guy's brain or like 1,000 people's brains working together and all bouncing off each other? Obviously the latter, like, you just got to filter what's good and bad, right? The actual genius of the Mordhau animations is Marox's code, where he makes the animations blend together in such a beautiful way. That's all done with Marox's code. The actual, if you open the engine and look at the animations individually, they're actually like super fucking basic. It's not the fact that he doesn't know how to input numbers, it's the fact that he doesn't know what numbers to input. Well, he's just lazy, man. He's the guy's lazy. Like, I remember even Marox complaining that he takes ages to fucking do anything. The guy's just lazy. But the problem is, he just doesn't seem to listen anymore. Like, he just doesn't. Like, I think the only person he's listened to is Stout, and Stout, he has some like very questionable ideas sometimes. Well, they lost the drive, but they also lost the direction of the game, because it was built to be a comp game, but then they just like tried to appeal to the casual audience, and it just didn't work because the casuals are fickle. They're not going to stay. Like, that's not a reliable player base. And when this game was made, it was made by Shiv comp players to make a new comp game, and that's not what they made. Man, you look at the Kickstarter, they didn't even do half the shit that they fucking promised in the Kickstarter. They just fucked up really bad. They just lost track of what they were supposed to be doing. It's not the game that, like, Mordhau now is not what it was supposed to be. With Mordhau, if you imagine if you're like a casual player and you play Mordhau, like the game's really jokey, you know, you have these like foppish voices running around with like naked build and like spazzing out and like doing like stupid spin feints and stuff like this and jumping around. Like, people just aren't gonna take the game seriously because it's just not a serious game. Like, the game's just a joke.